All right, this is an at-home workout for adults over 65. So this is going to be split into a couple different parts. The first part is some balance exercises, so 6 balance exercises. The second part is mobility stuff, so 6 mobility, a couple upper body, a couple lower body. And then the last part is kind of a strength, kind of endurance aspect, a little bit of a circuit with some intervals in there. I'm going to split the video into 2 parts. So the balance and mobility will be in the first part. Um, and then I'll cut it and put it into the second part of the kind of interval workout. So you can do these all as one if you want to have a full thing, or you can do them separately if you want just a shorter workout or just to work on the one aspect of it. So I'm going to set a clock. These first ones will be 1 minute of each of these balance exercises. I'll just show them right before it. So there's 20 seconds in between to kind of show and get ready for the next one. You can pause this at any point to take a break, or a review or whatever you need to do in there. But I'm going to keep running through this. So, first one, standing heel to toe, looking left and right. So, obviously, working on that narrow base of support, which challenges your balance, but the head movements kind of challenges the vestibular system, which tells your body where it is in space to keep you balanced. And it also doesn't let you fixate on something. So when you're moving your head, can't watch one thing, which does help to stabilize your balance. But when we're practicing it, we want to kind of take those systems away sometimes and just work on the other things. So switch your feet. If you need to be a little wider, can't balance, that's okay. The wobbles are okay through all of these. That just means you're actually challenging and working on your balance. Even if you lose your balance and have to step, that's good practice because that's actually real life when people fall. It's not usually when they're just standing still. It's when you trip or slip and have to step and catch yourself. So that's a good thing to practice too. Second one, you're gonna be standing on your toes, keeping your heels up the whole time. You can walk on your toes if you have the space, or you can just stay put. I'm just gonna stay put to stay on the camera, but either way, as long as you're keeping your heels up for the whole minute. All right, go ahead, heels up. If you can watch around or look around, that's even better again, because so you're not just fixating on one spot. The feet and ankle are kind of the first line of balance. So when you start to lose your balance, they'll correct and should be able to accommodate a lot of things. And especially when you're on uneven ground, so thinking of walking on grass or gravel or something where those kind of uneven aspects of it, they can help to keep you upright, so you're not wobbling, your whole body's not wobbling as you're going. So foot and ankle strength. Doing some of this stuff barefoot can be a good practice, especially the more static type stuff, to just strengthen the feet and ankles and just get used to that sensation. When you're wearing a big thick shoe, it's hard to even feel the ground. Third one is just going to be standing in place on one leg. So if you need to hang on to something, you can. If you need to keep your toe down, you can. But even if it's just a couple seconds at a time and then having to catch your balance, that's okay. It's good practice to be able to stand on one leg. And obviously the balance aspect of standing on one leg, but it's also a good hip strengthening one for those hip abductors, which help your walking. If you feel like you're standing on one leg and you're just leaning that hip out to the side, think about standing up tall and keeping that leg kind of in line. Keep those outer hip muscles engaged. Good, you can switch sides then. You'll notice one leg probably feels a little more steady. That's pretty normal. Usually, actually, people's non-dominant side is a little more balanced. And most people have had an injury or surgery or some sort of aspect that changes that balance, which is why it's important to practice stuff on one leg or kind of dynamic like that. Fourth one, it's going to be marching in place, but you're going to close your eyes. So you're trying to stay in one spot. So give yourself, you're probably going to wander a little bit, give yourself some room to move around so you're not going to bump into anything. Or if you feel unsteady, you can stand by a wall or counter or something to keep your balance. When you close your eyes, you'll realize how much we rely on our vision to keep our balance. And when you take it away, you feel much more unsteady. It's hard to stay in one spot. The faster you march, the harder it's going to be to stay in one spot. Hopefully I don't wander too much off the camera. A minute's a pretty long time doing this. And you'll feel like you're in one spot the whole time, but most likely you're not, especially if you're marching fast enough to move your position. All right, that's the fourth one. Fifth one, you're going to take a big step forward and then you're rotating your arms side to side. So we'll give a little rest. We'll switch feet at halfway. So take a big step forward, try to keep your back heel up, and rotating side to side. You can watch your hands or you can look in front of you. Either way is fine. Just slightly different. If you want it to be harder, move your feet more narrow so you're almost standing on a line. If you need to be easier, go a little wider. So it's in a couple things. Obviously the balance part of it, but also some mobility, get your spine moving. Switch your feet. That back leg behind you, you're getting a stretch kind of through the front of that hip, which is good because a lot of people are stiff in that hip extension position. So kind of combining some stretching mobility stuff with the balance exercise. Good, and one more balance exercise. You're gonna be standing on one foot. One leg's gonna go behind you, the other, and your hands reaching down towards the ground. So just go as low as you feel comfortable. If that's just kind of reaching to your knee, that's fine. If you can reach all the way to the ground, even better. If you need to hang on, you can for balance. Or if you want something in front of you, like a chair or the stairs, sometimes having a target to reach to can be helpful. And it's going to be a little bit dependent on how mobile you are, how stiff your hamstrings are, with how far you can reach. So it kind of includes a little more strength to it for the whole backside, hamstring and back and hips, to be able to control you on the way down and then bring you back up. Switch sides. So having some balance stuff that's more static, but probably be even more important is the dynamic stuff, because people don't generally fall when they're just standing still. It's always a dynamic movement, a slip or a trip, and having the speed and strength to be able to catch yourself is usually the difference between falling and not falling. All right, that was the balance part. The next stuff is kind of stretching, mobility type stuff. So same kind of idea, 1 minute of each of these. I'll tell you when to switch, kind of talk through them. Some of them are the same for a minute, and some of them switching left and right. The first one is going to be reaching down towards the ground and up towards the ceiling. If you needed to take a rest after the balance stuff, that'd be a good time. Just pause the video, but I'm just going to run right through these. So this one's kind of hitting both ends of your spine, the flexion forward and then some extension going back. Depending on the person, can be stiff in one or both. directions, and just getting your arms up overhead is always good. If it feels good, you can definitely hold in either position for a little longer. Okay. The next one's going to be standing square, just rotating side to side. So you're trying to reach your arm across your body and rotate your body. Most of the movement should come from your upper body as you're rotating side to side. So you can go ahead and we'll switch to a different movement at halfway. Most people through their daily life don't rotate their spine that much, so it's not really a surprise that it gets stiff, but kind of intentionally including stuff can help to maintain that motion. Good. And then the second half, we're going to reach down to the side of your knee, and your other arm's going to go up and across. Okay. The third one's just going to be shoulder circles. So first half going forward, second half going backwards. Give a little break before we start. All right, go ahead. So making big circles. If you're a little more stiff, doing one arm at a time can help get a little more motion in those shoulders. Or you can do both or a combination of each. Trying to go slow enough that you can kind of feel the end ranges of those shoulders. If you're a little more stiff, it might be smaller circles. If it's painful, don't force that motion. Just work in whatever range you can. And then going backwards, making big circles backwards. Okay, the next one, there's three more left. You probably want something to hang on to, so it's more of a mobility than a balance one, but you're gonna make a big circle with your hip. So going up in front of you and around, trying to keep your knee high. So like I said, you can hang on. So you're not gonna try to balance on one foot and do the mobility part. So making a big circle. Again, kind of going slow enough that you can feel those end ranges of your hip. Doing some of these things kind of makes you realize how little we are actually using some of these motions throughout the day, just in your daily life. Most of the things we do are just kind of mid range in front of us, up and down, switch legs, and not very often kind of moving through those motions. Think about the shoulder and how little most people actually put their arms over their heads. It might be a few times a day, but it's not a lot of signal to your body to like keep that motion mobile. So it's not really a surprise that things start to get stiff, painful when we just don't use them. Okay, the next one, you'll need a wall or counter or something to put your hands on. So hands on the wall, one leg's gonna go behind you and you're pushing your heel down. So we'll do 30 seconds on each side. Just a calf stretch for the back of the leg. Hands on the wall in front of you. Push your back heel down so legs kind of staggered. The goal is to stretch this back leg and the calf, trying to keep your foot pointed forward if you can, and then your knees straight. Most people are kind of stiff in their calves. Good. Switch your legs, other leg back, leaning forward. Some of these don't have to be even in a workout. They can just be thrown in throughout the day or kind of just on their own. And then the last one, 2 ways to do it, standing or on the ground. So you'll need a wall or door or something. You're gonna put your shoulder and your hip against the wall, and then rotating your arm back, so trying to watch your hand the whole time. You can also do this on the ground. So you'd be laying on your side, knees up towards you, rotate back towards the ground that way. The ground is probably a little more of a stretch, but it kind of depends on your space and equipment and ability to get on and off the ground. You could do that one separately if you want to just have a more of a long duration stretch. You'd switch sides as you're going, try to keep that hip kind of in the same spot at the wall. The goal is to mostly rotate through your upper body and not through your knees and ankles. All right, that's the first part, the balance and mobility stuff. The next part is going to be kind of an endurance circuit with a bunch of different exercises, 30 seconds at a time. I'm going to cut the video here, but you can click that next one to do that next part to get your heart rate up, to work on strength, kind of work on the endurance part of it. So follow along for the next video.